Good afternoon. We're going to continue on our Victorian sewing boxes. This afternoon we're going to do the sewing. So you'll have done all of the gluing and now we're going to work on sewing the outside pieces so that we can get everything assembled. So I've done part of the sewing so that you can see what some of it looks like when it's done. So here is my previously completed box, and if we look at where this all fits in, so this is our base or our outside box. So when we sew this together, obviously the most important bit here is to make sure that we sew this bit upright and these bits backwards. So our 4 number 1 pieces have to be sewn to our number 3. This should be reasonably obvious because the dimensions will match. So the ends, the shorter ends of the number 1s will match the dimensions of the number 3s. And then just make sure that the number 3 faces up and the number 1s face down, or vice versa. So when you're stitching, make sure that you always end your threads on whichever side is the off side. And I like to make one side nice, so it helps to do nice tiny little stitches. This is, funnily enough, one of the more time-consuming things to do with these boxes is the stitching. But I like to do nice stitching on this face because you'll see these stitches more easily than the other one, but you might think that because you're going to see the box close more often, that you'd prefer to do the nice stitching on the outside. It's completely up to you. But nice tiny little stitches, and obviously pick a thread that is as close to matching your outside colour as possible, because that will make things as invisible as you can. So this is your outside box. We also need to do our inside box, which is our little insert here. And the same thing applies. So this is going to be done on an angle when we assemble it. You obviously don't need to sew it that way, but we need to make sure that when we stitch this, we've got our little number 5 facing upwards and all our number 4s facing down. And obviously short sides match for the number 4s to each side of the number 5s, and that will all work out nicely. Then the lid, which of course the lid is the bane of our existence. The lid is the hardest bit to stitch. So again, nice and small stitches, which you shouldn't be able to see, I'm hoping. Alternatively, if you want, you can just, it is cheating a little bit, you can just stitch right at the top, because that will hold it firm if you just stitch across the edge of that lip rather than stitching all the way up. My preference is to stitch all the way up. I think it's neater, I think it's stronger, but if you would prefer something that doesn't quite take as long, you can do it that way. You may also find that with the fabric, you have a little bit of cardboard showing through, so you might need to just tuck that fabric in with a little bit of glue, but also try and make sure that we fold everything in when we sew it. and try and create as much tension as you can with your stitches when you do that sewing. And again, single thread will make those stitches as invisible as possible. The last thing we need to stitch is our pincushion in the center. So, sorry, the lid is our number 7 piece, if that wasn't obvious. And number 6 is our pincushion. Again, the shape of that one should be pretty obvious. So we bend those ones on the scored bits of card, bend that one into a nice little box, and then sew along the edge. Nice small stitches. And again, if you want, you can sew just at the top and bottom of your pincushion, or nice small stitches. We'll keep that strong all the way along. And that's all there is to stitching it up. It's a lot easier to talk about it than it is to do it.